There it is.
Oh.
I'm sorry, guys. As you know, I always have a glitch in this. I was just telling... Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry. This is super embarrassing. You'd think I'd master this live...
Should we play our entire conversation from last 5
Well,
minutes?
no. No
We got
way.
a new nickname, Jim Gavi.
Gabby.
We made up a new nickname for Gabby. He's now Jim Gabby.
These are rock quotes. If you ever want to quote anything and you're a musician, you have to go quoting.
Yeah, I just learned that from these guys. I always quote like this, you know, doot doot. But apparently, I just learned that it's rock quotes.
Mm-hmm.
Boop boop.
Only if you're a musician, though.
Yeah, it's exclusive.
If you're not, don't even
touch it.
You get tackled by somebody.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, as I was saying, I learned new stuff from these guys all the time, so that's why I thought I would have them here on this live chat. We've got Drew. He rocks the drums. We got Gavi, keyboard extraordinaire master, of course, and then me. I play the violin. Yay! And I'm like huge in the screen only because there's nowhere else to sit. We're like, you know, I'm sitting on the bed, there on chairs. Anyways, it works. So, but I thought it'd be nice for us each to just kind of give a little bit of our background and a little bit about a little bit about how we got to where we are. And then we'll open it up for some questions because this is all about giving you guys advice on just our experiences and how we've become musicians.
Yeah.
Professional musicians. All right, take it away, Drew.
Okay. So I grew up in Nebraska, playing in like blues bands and rock bands and punk bands and stuff like that, and just practicing all different styles of music. That's key. You have to know a lot of different stuff in order to like really be a broad musician, obviously. And then straight out of high school, I moved to California, LA. Did the audition thing for years. Worked a lot of coffee jobs and day jobs, and just never gave up. Just kept going. Finally got a bigger gig, I guess, to where I didn't need to have the day job anymore. And then kind of met people through that. And then, you know, you meet managers, you meet other bands, you meet people like that, and then you can kind of continue on your career path that whole way. And, you know, I've been lucky over the past 5 years to be able to just do that the whole time. So that's kind of my brief history.
Well done, Drew. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, Gavi.
It's crazy. I think in music, everyone has their path. Everyone's is different. Mine's super different than Drew's. I started playing piano and doing the keyboard thing super late in my life. I didn't start until I was about 18, even trying to play, just because I was a sports guy growing up. Didn't have any love for it, I guess. But then, like, joined choir my senior year of high school because I had to. And, like, in a very stupid way, it changed my life because I got into music. I enjoyed it and hated school. I knew I wasn't going to go to school, so I was like, what am I going to do with my life? So, Mom had a piano at her house. Went to a buddy's house, and the guy I was in choir with were singing, writing songs, and I was there kind of helping out, but I couldn't physically play what I was hearing, and it frustrated me, so I just kind of picked it up and taught myself how to play, and then just basically for about a year, 4 hours a day, I feel like just practice, and then ended up interning at a recording studio in Los Angeles, and that kind of started from there. But it's one of those things where, like, I always say anyone who does the music thing, you have to commit your life to it, or it's not really worth it because it's tricky. It's a tough game to do. So, but I love it. It's the best thing that ever happened to me. So, yeah.
Whitney just wrote no sound.
Oh, we've got sound.
I think we got sound. Do we got sound?
Someone comment yes or no.
Okay.
Do we have sound?
Do we have sound? It's better now.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome. Well, also start writing in questions that you have. Some people might have specific questions on just becoming a musician and, you know, things that you faced or whatnot. Oh. Mm-hmm. Okay. So just let us know what your specific questions might be. Okay. But yeah, my story is kind of like Drew. I was working a day job. I was trying to become a musician at the same time, and there's a big balance that you have to have in that. You know, you can't just drop everything automatically and be like, I want to be a musician and I'm going to give up everything for it. At least in my experience, I think it was really good that I kept my day job and I kept my, normal life until I felt comfortable enough that it was now time. I was at a time I was ready to go out there and chase my dreams and, and try to be a musician. But first, I kind of built myself up a little bit, and I did both the musician life and the, a day job until I felt like things were working. So, okay, so everyone keeps saying, yes, we have sound. Does anyone have any questions that they want to ask any of us?
There's a lot of yeses and yeahs going on.
Uh-huh. Maybe it's a little bit behind. Sound, yes. 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 That's what I'm getting.
Yeah.
So you're saying we have sound.
So I'm glad we have sound. Yes.
Yes.
You're yesing too hard.
You're guessing too hard. You're going to guess yourself to death.
Okay, I have a question. How did you meet Drew and Gavi? Okay, that's not a how to become a musician question, but it's a question, so we'll take it. Do you guys want to go with that? And I'll look for some other questions.
I'll go. So basically, it came about where I knew Drew back in Los Angeles. Drew worked for Lindsey's old manager back in the day, and he hit up Drew to be a part of Lindsey's band and asked if he knew a keyboard player and called me, and we flew out to New York, and the rest is history.
That was last September.
That was last September. No, earlier than that.
Oh, May.
Yeah.
Sorry. The tour was in September.
So now we're here today, but basically it's like an industry thing. I wish it was a better story, like me and Drew around the streets of Los Angeles playing for money, panhandling, and then Lindsey stumbled upon us.
You guys sound good.
You should be in my band.
You guys are amazing.
Didn't work like that, but there's no rhyme or
We're
reason.
still here.
So someone's asking about professional training versus teaching yourself, and I think we actually have different opinions on that. Personally, because the past you come from kind of inhibits the way you think. Personally, I really appreciated the fact that I had formal training, and my parents sacrificed a lot so that I could have that, those lessons. And for me, I think I needed that. I needed someone to give me a little bit of direction in order for me to build a foundation, because I'm very all over the place. And I don't think I could have ever mastered the violin personally if I didn't have some direction in it. So I was classically trained, by a teacher, and then I did orchestra in school. But Gavi has a very different opinion on that.
Mine is, I don't know, I taught myself just because I had to, but because my theory is, someone told me once, if you go to school to learn music, it's cheating. Because you should have it inside of you. You shouldn't have to be taught, but just stupid. I hate. But I think also it depends on the instrument. Like, I think violin, it's pretty much impossible just to pick up on your own. Yeah. Like piano, I was around my whole life. My sisters played. My dad's really good. So it kind of became a little bit easier for me. But, I mean, today, I kind of want to take some lessons and just kind of study jazz and that kind of stuff. Because there are definitely a lot of things that I can't do. I watched some of the cover videos that were submitted from Lindsey's contest, and some of these classically trained pianists would crush me and how good they are. So, but yeah.
I'm kind of perfectly in the middle. I've been playing for like 12 years. I did like 4 years of lessons and getting taught, and then the rest of it I was pretty much self-taught. And I do have to say, I learned more from touring than I ever learned from practicing 8 hours a day in a garage. It's like you just learn different things in different situations. But yeah, I'm kind of in the middle. I mean, I appreciated all the ground, the groundwork that my lessons built for me, but I also learned a lot more just being in the world.
Experience is a huge thing.
It is definitely. And I had formal training up until a certain point, and then after that, if I wanted to continue to grow, it was then up to me. Like, you can't have a teacher teach you everything. Eventually, it's up to you to go out there and, like Drew is saying, try different styles. I joined a country band. I did all kinds of different music. I joined a rock band for a little bit. I started playing with this reggae group. I mean, I just did all kinds of different stuff, and that, I think, is when my personal style developed. And until then, it was just a base foundation, learning those skills. But eventually, it all becomes about experience. Yeah. At the end of the day.
And enjoying it.
Right.
You have to love what you do.
Don't ever lose your passion.
Yeah, if you lose that, there's no.
This is a good. Along with that, someone asked. Let's see. Honor Dollaran Yes. Said, how did you
Okay.
find the energy and drive to pursue music as hard as you did while still working a day job? I currently work a full-time job, attend college, and I'm trying to learn to play the violin, too.
I gotta tell you, I've probably served more tables than I've played stages.
Yeah.
Obviously, but like you have to. It's funny as a musician. It's not that easy just to grab in and get into it. I've served tables a lot in Los Angeles to pay the bills, in between touring, in between whatever. Sacrifice and take the commitment. It really does pay off.
I definitely agree because I was going to college. I was going to BYU, paying for it myself, and I was working at a treatment center as a counselor. And yet I just really wanted to be a musician, even though I loved the other things I was doing. And so music was my fun. And I think this is my biggest advice for anyone that wants to pursue their dreams, whether it's dancing, violin, cello, or whatever it is you want to do. I think it's so important that you love it enough to do it, whether it's going to be your job or not. Because I honestly didn't expect that the violin and doing these YouTube videos and performing, I never expected that to become my lifestyle and my job. But honestly, I was doing it because I loved it so much that whether it turned into my job or not, I was doing it because I wanted to. And so it was kind of a win-win. It turned out the better win for me because now I do get to do it all the time. But even if it was still something that I did on the side, I'd still be doing it. And I think that's the key is if you love it enough to do it for free and doing it because you love it. And that's what it was for me is it was my free time. Instead of going to parties and, hanging out with friends all the time on the weekends, I was practicing with a band or I was playing a show at, the local venue, the Velour in Provo. Like that's how I spent my fun time was music. And then I went to my day job and then, so I was extremely busy, but music was my outlet. It was my fun until it became, part of my life as a job. So that's how I kept my passion up is I always made sure it was something that I always made it enjoyable.
Good answer. Good answer.
We've been watching Family Feud.
Good answer. Good answer, Liz. It's up there.
Oh, yeah.
It's up there.
It's gotta be up there.
Everybody's house.
Bing.
I basically didn't sleep for 2 years. I was working Starbucks. I would get there at 4:15 in the morning. I would get off by like 12:30 in the afternoon, and I lived about 20 miles south of LA at that point. And then I would drive to LA, get there by 2:30, 3 o'clock, and I was playing in literally 6 bands at that time. I would do rehearsals from like 3 o'clock till 9 o'clock with various bands, play shows at night till 1, 2 in the morning, go home, sleep 2 hours, wake up, do it all the next day. It was funny. It got to a point where a day off for me was only working an 8-hour shift at Starbucks.
That's crazy.
And
You're insane.
but that's the kind of drive you have to have. I mean, because I loved playing music, that's the reason why I did it. And obviously in the back of my head, I was like, I want this to be a career. That's why I'm working so hard at this right now and, killing myself and not sleeping. But at the end of the day, if you're good at what you do, you have passion and drive, you can make it work as long as you just keep doing it.
Drive is huge. And so is sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were saying, like you didn't go out a lot, you didn't do a lot of things.
I did not.
I parked myself in my
Yeah.
room.
I
Yeah.
know.
I seriously.
We've all been losers for quite a long time. I think that's the point here.
Look at me
Well,
now.
shut-ins.
Look at me now. Look at me now.
Look at that.
You're like, oh yeah.
I like a rap song.
But yeah, I think that's what it comes down to. Is what we've all been saying. Just being willing to sacrifice, but making sure that you still love what you're
Have fun.
sacrificing for.
Don't ever get jaded.
Yes. It's easy and that's the reason I chose not to major in music in college was I was like, I never want to hate it, and I always want to love what I'm doing, and I was afraid of that. Someone else asked a random question about how I got the NBA halftime show gig when I was like pretty, they didn't say this, but it was pretty much when I was a nobody. Nobody knew anything.
When you were nothing.
When you were
How
no
did you
one.
get that?
Well, I think this is an important part is the reason that I feel like I've been successful, aside from hard work and just, work my tail off, I think it's that I wasn't afraid to reach out for opportunities. And I basically knew someone that had a contact of a contact, and I got those contacts, and I would try everything. That's when I tried to get on the Ellen show. I was trying to do all these things that technically I was not ready for, one of which was the NBA halftime show at the Lakers game. But because, I mean, if you don't try, you never know.
Halftime at the Lakers game?
I did.
In Utah? Or?
In the Utah one. Oh, wow.
Wow.
But I mean, like I said, it was probably a gig I shouldn't have gotten, but why not try? And I think by just trying and going for things, and I sent out so many DVDs and so many emails, and a couple of them have to land in the right spot if you throw out that many, and that was one that did.
What's the old phrase? Dress for the job you want.
That's right.
So shoot for the things you want.
Yeah, so true. I like that. Someone else asked, and I'll let you guys take this away. What is your best advice for a beginning musician?
Don't give up.
Don't give up. Don't get frustrated when it's not easy right away, because it does become easier, obviously, as you keep going. But I think it's like, I taught myself by learning songs that I loved. If you like a song on the radio, try to figure that song out, because you want to be able to play that. You know, it'd be fun to show off to people. But yeah, try to find music that you enjoy.
Don't try to do too much too quickly, because then you get frustrated.
It's a good one.
Trust me, I learned that. I was listening to the Mars Volta and trying to play to that. Yeah, bad idea. Seriously, I mean, have you listened to the Mars Volta? It's ridiculous. And as far as like literally like when you're sitting practicing, if you get frustrated, take a 15-minute break and come back, because if you're frustrated, you're not going to get out of it by keeping on doing it. So take a 15-minute break, come back, get a drink of water, cool off for a minute, and then come back and try it again. And you'd be surprised how fresh your brain is after that,
That's a good point.
And make sure you have family who's okay with you playing the same part
Yes.
over and over and over.
And loudly.
My mom would be like, "You're almost there. You're almost there. You almost got it." The same part.
That's awesome. So I like this other question that said, when you first start as a musician, you're really passionate about it, and then sometimes you lose that passion. How do you keep that fire burning? And I think it's really important to share that I'm not always, like, oh my gosh, I love practicing this hard stuff, and sometimes you have to, you can't just play the fun stuff all the time. Sometimes you have to,
challenge.
You challenge yourself, and you have to spend the time, like, playing that same part over and over again. That's not fun, my rock quotes, that's not fun.
Thank you.
And there were definitely even periods of time, like a couple months, where I was just like, I'm really not feeling this, and I even considered quitting, because it's kind of this like up and down of like, you're really passionate about it, and then you kind of go through a lull. And I think just sometimes you just have to work through those hard times and realize that I did love this, I do love this. I'm just going through a hard time right now, especially like in your teenage years when there's a lot of other things you'd probably rather be doing than sitting down practicing the piano or violin. But also rewarding yourself. Like that, it was in one of those big times when I was really considering like, I don't love this anymore. I'm not passionate about it. Do I want to keep doing it? That's when I started to branch out, and I was like, well, I need to make the violin me rather than make myself the violin. And that's what kind of spawned all of this, is that I decided I wanted to love it again. And it was up to me to decide how to do that. I had to play something that was me.
I like that. I think just from advice from other dudes in LA, a lot of great musicians, never stop practicing either. I think before every sound check on this tour, I still go out to the stage and play for like an hour.
He really does.
Just messing. I know, it's annoying. Everyone hates me.
No!
Everyone hates. No, it's annoying. I play loud. But it's like I always have to keep going, keeping fresh. I know. I'm going to name drop. Justin D'Erico, who plays guitar for Pink right now, is the best guitar player I've ever heard in my life. He is the best dude you'll ever hear in your life. But dude still practices every single day. He goes out on stage and plays and does scales and whatever you want to do. But never think you're at the point where you're at the best you'll ever be.
Oh, no.
No. Yeah. Understand that you're always going to be able to get better.
Yeah.
I have a long way to go for sure. So, I don't know. I never feel like you're too good or you've got that point.
Yes.
I think.
As far as the passion thing, I had a very, I guess you would say slow kind of sad 2011. I don't want to make it sound too sad. Like I wasn't touring, you know, and it was one of those things where I kind of did lose my passion in 2011 for a bit because I was sitting there like, you know, what the heck? Like I've done all this stuff and I'm a good player, I'm a good person. Like why is nothing happening? Blah blah blah. That's another thing is like if you feel like you lost your passion, be patient because stuff will turn up and it will come back. And then honestly, when I got called to play with you and we played that first show in New York. And I played that first show in New York, I was like, okay, this is what I enjoy doing. And it's funny, I actually had a friend who I played some bands with in LA come out to our show in New Orleans. And I said, what'd you think? And he goes, it was a great show. He goes, it was really refreshing to see you happy on stage. Because it had been so long since, you know, because I felt like I had lost my passion. Then you find it again eventually. You know, you just got to persevere.
It's true.
It's huge.
Keep pushing through the hard times. They'll be there.
Like a baby.
Yeah.
Like a baby being born. Push through.
I apologize for that.
What's the visual? Push through.
I said push through, not push through.
Like a baby.
No.
Moving on, next question.
Someone's asking about, I saw someone asking, we can combine these two, about how do you get over doubting your ability as a player, and also kind of like the stage fright thing, you know, doubting, so those kind of go together, doubting your ability to perform or your ability to play. Do one of you guys want to take that first, or?
I still get nervous every night before I play.
Confidence is huge.
Yeah.
You understand that you're supposed to be there. That's what I always tell myself. Because there's always that urge of nervousness. Right. But I always tell myself, I'm supposed to be here. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. There's a reason why you're here, so just enjoy it, you know? Mm-hmm. Man, I do get nervous before every show. Never fails.
I think...
I have to jump up and down to it's like nervous energy, you know?
Yeah. We have like little rituals we do before the shows because we all get slightly nervous. And to me, that's a good thing because it means I still care. Yeah. And I still want to go out there and play my best every night. And I think the day when I don't care anymore is the day I won't get nervous. And that would be sad. So yeah, we have our little rituals we do. We like to have a little dance party sometimes. We say a prayer. And we do harmonies. Like, it's pretty awesome.
And I've become super superstitious. I'm super superstitious in life in general.
Baseball, football.
Just in life, yeah. But I take it to the music game, like before a show. We're super routine on everything we do. If something changes that night, and God forbid something goes wrong during the show,
he's like, never again.
I will let you know after the show. Drew, you will never punch me in the stomach before a show ever again.
I used to tap his stomach, and then
two shows in a row,
and we had weird stuff happen specifically for him. He was like, never again.
Drew, never touching my stomach.
I just remember the next show, the next night, he went to hit his stomach, and you like, ah! You're
like, matrixed out of it.
Yeah. No! And you were serious. You were like, no! Don't do that!
It works! My gosh, it works!
It's a mental thing.
It's a mental thing.
It's the electricity in the air.
It is.
You know?
It is.
It's so stupid to admit.
I think, okay, for me, another thing to add to this is I would get so nervous. Like, now I get a little nervous, but when I was a kid and I would do, like, recitals and stuff at my, I would get so nervous. My hands would shake. They would get extra sweaty, and I could barely even play because I was just so nervous, and I'd practice so hard and then played horribly. And I think just like anything, as lame as it sounds, practice makes perfect. And not perfect, but it makes you better. And I just remember, especially before America's Got Talent, and this is kind of embarrassing, but before America's Got Talent, I knew I was going to be so nervous getting on that stage, performing solo. It was the first time I'd ever done anything like that. So I was living in college apartments at the time, and I went to one of the neighboring apartments where I didn't really know anybody, and I walked from apartment to apartment, and I would have my little violin and little speakers, and I knocked on people's doors, and I went to the guys' apartments, so I'd be even more nervous, and I was like, do you have 5 minutes that I can play you a song? And they were, yeah, I guess, come on in. And then I proceeded to dance, and I didn't warn them that I was going to be dancing and playing to hip hop music.
She's dancing.
So it's okay, yeah.
She's dancing.
This is happening.
This is crazy.
Yeah, talk about being the weird girl in school. Anyways, but yeah, I figured if I could play in that kind of an awkward situation with one dude sitting there watching me play and dance in his living room, I was like, it's not going to be a problem when I get on stage in front of an audience where I'm supposed to be performing.
Pretty brilliant, but
So, yeah, it worked. And so and also visualization for me is huge. I visualize my routines. I visualize the audience. I visualize the lights. And that's a really big, I'm a very firm believer in the power of the mind. And your mind honestly doesn't know the difference between what you imagine and reality. And so it's as good as practicing. It's almost better if you're visualizing what you want to happen and you visualize those perfect performances. And that's what has allowed me to, to get over that extreme stage fright and be able to do it.
What's the saying?
Visualize the attack.
Visualize the attack.
There's a football coach, I forget who it is, who says you should practice enough where you don't have to think during the game or something like that. It's kind of the same thing performing, where you practice everything to a point where you don't have to think about it when you're playing the shows.
It's definitely gotten to a point where when I'm on stage, I don't, specifically with the songs, we know them so well, it's just muscle memory at this point,
Mm-hmm.
And
right.
Which opens you up to other things, because that is in the bag. You can do different things, not experiment, but you can, like, I don't know. For me, I become more animated and, like, flail my arms more and stuff.
It's crazy.
Right. Well, yeah, it's true. When I do those routines, I'm not thinking about the individual dance moves usually, because I've mastered that in my mind, and so then I can focus on, like, looking at the audience and, like, connecting, and I can smile instead of just like, I gotta get this right. So yeah,
I'm going back.
You
go first.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I've taken to screaming at the audience now. Like that, my voice is a little hoarse today because last night, in between like downbeats, I go, ah!
Are you entertained?
Are you entertained? Are you not entertained?
I was thinking when I'm going back to Lindsey when she's in this room playing for this guy. How awkward is the moment when you're done? Is it like, okay, thank you.
I accept tips.
I'm trying to imagine that moment when the guy's like, okay.
I just loved it, just seeing their expression change when I started dancing. They're like, oh, here it comes.
Wow.
But the funny thing is like, now that my videos are a little more proven, my style is, at least gone somewhere, I got a message from a guy a while ago that was like, you performed in my living room one time.
Way.
Don't know who the guy is, but apparently I performed in his living room. Oh my gosh.
That is so funny.
Let's see. They want us to say hello to Brazil. Hi, Brazil. We love you guys. I want to come to Brazil. I really do.
Obrigado.
Ooh.
I really want to go to Brazil. I really want to go just sit on the beach.
Brazil's nice.
No clothes on, just basking in the sun.
I once stayed on Ipanema Beach. It's pretty cool.
Heard it's a sexy beach.
Hey, Gavi, is it ever too late to begin to learn a new instrument?
Nope. I started when I was 18. I'm telling you, it's never too late to start. Ever, 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 ever. Because you never know. Look at me.
Someone says that they've heard that if you can't practice for at least 4 hours a day, you shouldn't practice at all. Is that true?
That's not true at all.
That's not true at all.
Stupid comment.
15 minutes is better than nothing.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean...
These 2 hours were worthless. I didn't get to do my 4 hours today.
And honestly, I've heard that 20-minute increments is the best. Like, I've never been... so a lot of times you don't have time to practice in 20-minute increments. You just kind of shoot it all, get this song learned or whatever. But 20-minute increments is really the best way to learn anything, because it allows you to take those breaks like Drew was talking about, get a snack like I like, kind of let your mind focus, then come back.
Yeah, I don't know who told you the 4-hour thing or it's worthless, but that's pretty ridiculous. I mean, honestly, yeah. Like I said, 15 minutes is better than nothing. And a lot of times, I've done those long 4-hour sessions, and then the next day I'll come back and do a 15-minute session and find that I actually learned more in that 15 minutes than I did in those 4 hours, because I was mentally checked out from working too hard.
Dude, here's another thing. This is a huge thing for me. Is surround yourself with people who are better than you, because
just in general?
No, in life. No, because it challenges you to get better as well. But then, I remember when I first started playing, this one guy who kind of took me under his wing was like the man, piano player, perfect pitch guy. Here's a song once, can play the entire thing. But he was insane. I'm like, I'm never going to be as good as this guy. But being around him, you learn from him, learn from people around you, take stuff in, be a sponge, soak in information. And always, it's okay. I love meeting people who are just awesome players, who like can inspire you to be better as well. I mean, obviously, there's so many people out there who are better than me, so it's like nice to, I don't know. That makes sense.
It's like the old phrase. I have a lot of those. You play better golf with better golfers. Play better music, better musicians.
True.
And, yeah.
That's true.
So, they're asking, how did you get your first gig?
Like, what do you mean by gig? Like paying gig?
Yeah, probably paying gig.
Professional gig.
Yeah, your first.
I was in a local band in the Los Angeles area, and we had like people coming out to our shows and stuff like that. And then this dude who worked at William Morris, my buddy Ricky Abramson, I love him to death. He goes, "Hey man, I book tours, and like I didn't even know that was even an option, that people put together bands for artists who are signed." He goes, "I put together bands that go on tour. Would you be down with that? I think you'd be perfect." And I go, "Sure." I'm just, again, serving tables, playing in a band in Los Angeles, not doing really anything. So literally he called me the next day, and he's like, "I have an audition for this girl named Samantha Ronson. I don't know if you know who she is. She's a DJ. Her brother's Mark Ronson. But he's like, there's an audition at 3 o'clock. You want to go?" And I said, I would love to. So I didn't know what to do. So I went. I brought my keyboard. I remember I played along with one of her songs. Then I played and sang Your Song by Elton John. And got called an hour later. And they're like, "Hey, we leave for 2 months on Monday."
Nice.
And that was it. And I left. And I was gone. That's the beginning of it all, kind of. My first one. I got so lucky.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so
That's
now
a crazy story.
here I am now.
I have a pretty crazy story for mine, actually. I did the audition thing in LA for years. There's a guy named Barry Squire who, if you're on his list. So this guy will get called by like a band on a label, and they'll be like, "Hey, I need to put a band together." What are you doing?
Sorry.
"Hey, I need to put a band together. Can you get me 12 guitar players, 12 bass players, 12 drummers? We're going to audition them, blah, blah, blah." And so I got on his list, quote unquote. And I auditioned in 2008. He called me. He didn't even call me. A friend of mine was auditioning for this Disney girl. And I was like, "Dude, you got to get me on this audition." Called Barry, got the last slot available, and then did the audition. And they're like, "Okay, if we don't call you back by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, this is a funny story. That's why I'm elaborating on it. Then we've gone a different direction."
Thank gosh.
So I go to my friend's house and ruin my phone. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, "Oh crap! Like, what do I do?" And I lived in Orange County, so I was hanging out in Hollywood at this time. And my phone turns on for a split second. I have 2 voicemails. It's from these people saying, "Hey, we want you to come back. Make sure you call us, blah, blah, blah. My phone number should pop up in your caller ID." But it didn't because the phone was dead.
Oh my gosh.
And so I ended up driving back to the rehearsal space, got a hold of them. They're like, "Oh, I was just calling this other person. Good thing you came back." It's like, thank God. And did the audition later that night, got the gig, left 2 weeks later for the next 2 years.
Was that with Demi?
That was a Demi. Yeah.
Demi.
It's crazy.
Just auditioning.
My first gig was, the reason I got my first gig was because I was playing everywhere for free. I was,
Can't do that.
You gotta know your worth.
At the time, that's my advice right now is that when you don't have any connections at first, you have to start somewhere. I mean, I was just a little violinist that I was doing it as a hobby. So I would playing people's living rooms, creepy. So I actually would go to the local venues, and I would even go to open mic nights. And when I'd find a band that I liked, I'd go up to them after the show and be like, "Hey, I love your music. I'm a violinist. I would love to play with you or record whatever you need, for free." And so some of these bands, a couple actually got back to me, one of which is the Vibrant Sound, and he tours with me now as our opening band. So, but it's just funny because I started playing with some of these musicians for free, just doing it because I wanted to. Like I said, it was my free time. That's what I wanted to do. And then, people started hearing. I became kind of the violinist of Provo. Everybody knew if they needed a violinist, they call Lindsey. And I started getting so many offers that I started having to charge. And then I got a full-time offer for a country band, and I went and toured with them, and then decided to start my own project. So that, to me, was the way I got started. There's not a huge connection, world in Provo, Utah. Many places there's not a huge music world and lots of connections. So, just doing what you love, doing it for free at first until you build up the connections, because it really is all about knowing the right people and being seen by the right people, and but at the same time, know your worth and don't do it for free forever, because you deserve to be, treated well.
To a point.
I learned that one the hard way. I did so many gigs for free, and I was actually going out of pocket because I was like gas money and all that stuff, and so it was getting to a point where I was like, this is costing me money, and like, the band's fun, but at this point, like, I can't afford it.
Yeah.
I can't afford to be in a band.
But stay humble in the situation as well, though.
Of course.
Understand that where you were once, you could probably be again.
Right.
Sometime down the road.
Right.
The people you meet on your way up are the same people you meet on your way down.
That's true. Aside the fact that everybody is a person and deserves to be treated as such, always treat people with respect, because it's a very small world.
Absolutely.
And someone's asking some specific violin questions, which I will field those. It's about vibrato, and how long it took me to learn vibrato. I don't remember, but I remember it being a long process. It's not something you start when you first begin to learn the violin. You don't even touch vibrato. Vibrato is something I think I learned after I played for about probably 3-4 years, and then I started, and that's because I was younger. I was quite a bit younger, but first you start with just the exercises, doing these little exercises, learning how to loosen up your wrist, and it feels so awkward at first, but
like the Italian man.
The mozzarella.
That's all I can say.
The mozzarella technique.
No respect.
So.
No respect. But yeah, so just be patient with yourself. And as Gavi always tells all the violinists that come to the shows, hey, Lindsey sucked once.
So,
I haven't heard that one.
I always go, well, all these little people are like, I'm not that good. I'm like, well, Lindsey was terrible once too. Think about that.
It's true.
We all were.
It's true.
Every musician once sucked.
Yes, and
I think.
yes,
It's a negative way of putting it.
It is, but it's the truth. Is that
it makes
you're
us
not
all
good
feel
from the
better.
beginning, unless you're a prodigy or some craziness. But
Even a prodigy has to start somewhere.
true.
How do you suggest preparing for auditions overall?
No, especially if it's songs, just know it like you wouldn't believe. Just like know, because auditions, especially in Los Angeles, you don't get charts or anything. It doesn't work like that. You get the audio and you learn it yourself. Know it like the back of your hand. And this is something that I learned the hard way. Be yourself, no matter what. I did so many auditions for like heavy metal bands. I'd dress up and all like crappy heavy metal stuff.
You put on guy liner.
Yeah, exactly. I put on guy liner. And then at the end of the day, and I was not getting any of those gigs because I wasn't being myself, And so be yourself and know the material front and back, and just be nice and polite.
That's a good idea. I think, because you probably had this on some auditions, you get the music an hour before.
Yeah.
So you can't really know the music that well, so it's more important to be yourself, like you were saying. Also, be likable. Because a lot of these tours, if people want you to be a good person you can be with all the time. And so if you're a terrible person but the best musician in the world, you're still not going to get picked.
Right.
It don't matter. Be yourself, be humble, have fun, smile a lot, have a good personality. Sometimes that holds more weight than your ability. Because everyone's good.
It's true.
At these
There's
things,
so
everyone
many
can play.
talented
Everyone
people.
can play. Why not be a better person than the other guy?
You'd be surprised how far a big smile and a handshake can go. That's the first thing they see is that you're smiling and shaking hands.
It's true though. Smiling is a big thing.
Yeah. Someone asked a question earlier. I don't remember where it is, but it was about is it more important to do the kind of music or art that you think is like marketable, or do you think it's more that maybe you don't love as much, or do you think it's more important to stay true to what you love? And
it's a tricky question for me.
Personally, for me, I just love playing drums, and literally like any style. If I can play drums, I'm just happy to play drums. I don't put myself in one specific area like, oh, I only like indie rock, or oh, I only like pop, I only like blues. No, I like everything. I just like the instrument. So that's
true.
It's kind of
you always got to think though that some music just isn't as marketable as other music. It is what it is. I think to a point where, like in pop music, it's mainstream. So I've always loved pop music. I'm the cheesiest.
So
I love the cheesiest music ever. So it's kind of fortunate that that's kind of the music that's like mainstream and that you do the most work with. But like he was saying, I love acts that you've never heard of, and it sucks because people will never hear to them. they may not have a successful career in like this, like the financial part of it. But like for me, I learned real quick, if I want to make this a job, if I want to make money doing this every day, you do kind of have to sacrifice a tidbit of what.
And I think it could
sucks.
be finding a medium ground.
Yes.
There is no way, if you, there was certain kinds of music that I just didn't like, and I tried the route of, well, I got a gig doing this. I should see if I can make this work. And I just was so unhappy trying, so that's not a medium ground. That's not a happy medium. I as well am very lucky that the kind of music I absolutely love is working for me, and that it's marketable. But for me, I think you can make a pretty, you don't have to be the biggest pop star in the world to make a living at music. I've learned this.
Yes.
And so I think you always have to make sure that you do enjoy what you're doing. Otherwise, it's just not worth it. You have to work way too hard and do it way too much. There's no way I would work this hard if I didn't enjoy what I was doing. And so I think, I think you can always find a middle ground with it.
And stick to your guns. Look at this one. Who would have thought the dancing violinist to electronic music would ever be successful? But you stuck to your guns. Said to the people that said no, it's not going to work. You said it's going to work.
Yes, it will.
That's huge.
And sometimes you'll be surprised. Like definitely keep your options open. Because when I first got called by her former manager, and he said violin dubstep, I was like,
weird.
Okay. Literally, I guess we kind of played dubsteppy music with that one band, but was never super into dubstep. Was never really into. When
I was. Yeah.
Well, you were, but never really into dubstep. And I didn't even know what dubstep violin was. Then listened to the music, and I was like, "This is rad." Like just keep an open mind sometimes, because it's like on the surface it may sound weird, but when you actually get into it, it's like this is super cool.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love all kind of music and stuff like that.
Well,
it's crazy. In Los Angeles, too, there's so many talented people. So many that you see at every cafe, at every whatever local venue, that will never see the success that they deserve.
So sad,
and it's depressing. It's so depressing. So, I'm more grateful than anything.
What about writers? They're talking about writer's block a little bit. And then something I think Gavi would be able to answer well is about do you write lyrics first or do you write melodies? Because Gavi does write lyrics. I don't. But
I'm okay with lyrics.
Oh, okay.
But
you're
you go first.
A melody guy.
I'm
right?
a melody guy. I write a lot. That's like
He does.
my passion is writing music and producing music. And for me, it's a different process every day. Mostly for me as a piano player, I come up with piano parts first with melody and then kind of go from there. But like I know some people do come up with concepts of a song. But like Lindsey, I know is obviously amazing with melodies. And so it's like, for me, writing is like, there's no rhyme or reason to it. I think so. It's kind of like some songs happen, finish the entire thing, lyrics, everything in an hour. Some songs take half a year. There's no rhyme. I keep saying this, no rhyme or reason.
No rhyme or reason.
Well, it's kind of like your story with Crystallize.
Yeah, I think my biggest advice to writers is I always thought I was a terrible writer. I was just like, I just can't write, and I didn't realize it, but everybody has their own style, and when I write, I'm a very slow writer. I've just learned that. And for example, Crystallize was my big break song, and it took me forever to write it, and as I was writing it, I was like, this song is ridiculous. I almost threw it in the trash several times just because I was so frustrated. I know, good thing. I was so frustrated with it. And, it was one of those projects, I just kept putting it on the side. I actually started Crystallize before I started Electric Daisy or Shadows, and those came out, I think, like 5 months before Crystallize did, just because I just kept putting it to the side. It took me about 4 months to, write that song. But, and then other songs happen in, 2 days, Stars Align happened in 2 days. So it just depends on, but I would say be patient with yourself. And just because something's not coming right away doesn't mean that you're a bad writer.
And also record every idea.
Yes.
Even the stupidest 3-second, my voice note is filled with, record it. Because you never know. When you're in a session or you're with something or you have a song idea that could work with another song idea, if you forget that idea, you want to shoot yourself if you don't remember it the following day. That happens to me all the time. So.
And quickly, as far from a drummer standpoint, like working with a song, just play what's right for the song. Don't. I mean, with Lindsey, I go off quite a bit live, but a lot of the times I'm just playing straight. I'm playing for what the song requires, and that's the biggest problem I notice with drummers, especially drummers who record in studios. They're playing for themselves, not for the song. And for me, I find it more impressive when I listen to a track and go, that was the perfect drum part for that track, than if I listen to a track and go, well, that guy was going nuts and doing a million notes. Yeah, it was great, but sounded like crap with the rest of it, you know? So
keeping things simple is so key. And, like, as, like, a piano player, like, I mean, there are, like, Adele has really cool piano parts. But most piano parts, if you hear, like, Coldplay, or if you hear, I don't know, what's another example. But there's just basic, simple, the script. Super simple chords and parts, because it's about the vocal and the lyric.
Mm-hmm.
And so as a piano player, I've always learned to keep it as simple as possible. We just did... Can we tell them what the acoustic EP?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. So we recorded an acoustic record, the three of us. Yeah, I didn't know if that's... You know now. But we, like, had to create all these parts for it, because obviously...
On the spot.
And I kept it simple, because there's no reason in being virtuoso guy when the key is her melodies and her violin. This is the key right here. So.
Well, that was the same with.
So it's true. Keeping things simple is a good thing to do.
It was the same with the acoustic drums on the acoustic record. I tried to emulate the original like tracks, but still wanted to put a live feel to it, but just kept it simple. I mean, no point in going off.
Let's see.
Oh, I got it good. Someone Twittered me.
Oh.
Actually, a few people have about this, but Drew, a good question for Drew. Can I ask him?
Yeah.
Can you ask the kid, after working with so many pop stars, how does Lindsey rank among all of them?
Right here.
Here we go.
Right here.
Tell me about it.
I've actually told her multiple times that this is the gig that I've had the most fun on, the least amount of stress, least amount of drama. Seriously, no, I mean, the list goes on. And the most amount of touring.
That's 5.
That's 5. That's 5 pluses for our project.
So that's I mean, this is number 1 for me because it's all those 5 things, you know? It's awesome.
Thank you. That's very nice. Thank you.
I've told you that before.
In front of all my friends, makes me feel really cool. Someone is saying we have a birthday, so King Cullum 101, happy birthday! Yay! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday, dear King Cullum 101! Happy birthday to you! Also, we are coming to Poland. I think we're going to add a date at the end of the European tour, so...
That's huge news, actually.
Yes,
because
we're working on it. It's not official, but it's, like, really close, and I know you guys have been begging me to come, so I went back to my booking agent and said, we have to get a show in Poland, so I'm trying really hard. It looks like it's going to come through, though. Also, hello to France and Paris.
Bonjour, comment ça va?
Thanks so much for your wonderful Facebook fan group. You guys are awesome. I love you guys. We all love you guys. Okay, so did you have any other questions on there?
The Twitter.
The tweets.
Twitter space.
Wow, that's good.
Someone is asking me if dancing makes it easier or harder to play. Definitely makes it a lot harder.
Oh, wow.
But it's something that I've gotten used to, and it's something I only in recent years decided to start doing. First, I was a classical, got that bass, and then I started adding more to it to make it, fun for me and my style.
I'm getting a bunch of questions right now.
Oh, they know they can read you.
They knew it. Okay, so do we think that the past, present, future is a good song name?
Past, present, future. That's cool, man.
I'm in.
I like it. I like it. Next album. Maybe I'll name one song. They'll be all in a row. Past, present, future.
So Shelby is asking, what warm-ups do you suggest other than scales? I like this. I do. I obviously do like the warm-up, but I also play songs I'm going to be playing later on in that show. I kind of it's hard to explain. Like we do a couple things that like I like to practice before every show just to get it in my mind. But just again, songs I like to play. I play a lot of Billy Joel, a lot of Elton John.
Or Little Toto.
Little Toto. Gosh, me and Drew love Toto.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got a lot of those. But okay, I got a question for you, Linz.
Yes.
How do you find your names for your songs? How do you create those?
Sometimes the name comes first because I have a concept that I want to express through the song. So like Transcendence, I had a concept, an idea that I wanted to get out there, and that's kind of what inspired the music. Crystallize was the opposite. I wrote this song and I was like, what does this feel like to me when I play this? And that's what inspired the concept behind Crystallize. Shadows I named before I even started writing because it was thought of when I thought of the video idea, and I wrote a song and came up with that name because I had this funny video idea in my head. So all over the place.
One Transcendence too.
Yeah.
Did you mention that one?
I did.
Oh, sorry.
Started with the name.
I was reading Twitter.
You weren't paying attention.
Sorry.
Oh, what's our advice for a college student who doesn't really know their passion? That's a good question. When I actually went to college, I wasn't planning on being a violinist. I thought I wanted to be a filmmaker, and now I get to do both. But I think it's really important to try lots of things. And in college, it's hard because I was trying lots of things as I was paying for everything, and it's very expensive. So I would say take those first 2 years of college, or maybe that first year, to just try lots of things, and not just classes, but elective. Not electives, but the extracurricular stuff. They have intramurals. They have the dancing. Outside of class clubs. They have all kinds of stuff you can try and get involved with. But also, if I actually took a break in the middle of college, just a short break, and then I went back just to kind of explore a little bit, and so I wasn't just paying tuition and more tuition as I figured out my life. But I would just say, don't be afraid to take time to figure that out. Yeah.
They're coming.
They're coming.
Okay, so what is your? They're asking like this. What are you listening to right now? What's your favorite artist currently?
Man, that's such a hard question because I like a lot of stuff.
What's on your iPod right now? What do you listen to when you listen to music?
When I listen to music, okay, so I have a very random playlist on my iPod. I've got everything from, I love Michael Bublé. His Christmas album was my favorite Christmas album this year.
Nice.
Awesome.
It's a good one.
It's great. But
Christmas in February.
Well, I'm not listening to it now.
March.
Where are we? I don't know where we are.
We've been on the road for 5 months.
It's been a while. But I love oldies like Michael Jackson. I love it whenever Gavi plays 90s pop on the bus. Backstreet Boys.
Wait. Did you just call me out like that?
I did.
I did not play Backstreet Boys on the bus.
He plays in sync.
You take that back. I play in sync. Yeah, let's get this right. Let's get my boy bands right around here. I can't be call me out. That's horrible.
But to be fair, all three of us love
all
90s
three of us.
pop.
Okay, I'm just saying you're the one that sometimes puts it
Instigator,
on.
true.
He's the instigator, and then we all jump up and we're like, yeah, it's tearing up my heart when I. Anyways, sorry, Gabby.
Yeah,
I love
okay.
I love that stuff. I really love electronic music. I just feel like Swedish House Mafia and
we just played in LA
Skrillex.
last night.
They
2 nights ago.
did. Oh, man. Also, we went to a Muse concert the other night, which was killer. Oh my gosh, my mind. I think I was like this the whole concert.
Yeah.
And then I jump, and then some more, and then I look at them.
It would be like.
It was amazing. But anyways, I have the most random taste, and I love Evanescence. I love pop music of today, even like the radio hits, Katy Perry, Rihanna. It's all that stuff. I like everything.
Drew, who do you like? What do you listen to?
Me?
Yeah. You want to know all of us stuff.
Right now?
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of Muse. Huge fan of Maroon 5, too. Love them. Their new stuff's cool. Kind of like their older stuff a little bit better. Man. And then a lot of times to be honest, I listen to a lot of the music of like the band I'm in at that time, too.
It's true. I don't know. I'm huge on new music. I go on iTunes all the time. Because when you can say, hey, you like Imagine Dragons. Yeah, I think you'll like. this band. I love doing that, checking out artists you've never heard of. But currently love 21 Pilots. It's a band that we saw on our bus ride on a TV show, and they're awesome. And I think it'd be cool to do some shows with them as well. If anyone knows anyone out there who knows them, let them know. Love, like they're saying, 90s, but I also love 90s alternative. Matchbox 20.
Oh yeah.
Third Eye Blind. I love like Vertical Horizon from back in the day, but I love current dance music for sure. I love Aoki. I love Bass Nectar. Love Skrillex. All the dance stuff. It's good warm-up music, so yeah, I don't know. Just saying.
Someone's asking about, they're saying, I want to start a career in music, but I'm too shy to go on something like America's Got Talent or American Idol. And my advice for that is, I definitely did not get my big break from America's Got Talent. It was a good little, like, feather in my cap at the time, and at the time I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be my big break. But way more so than that, what made my career happen was all those gigs I did, all those playing with different bands, learning, growing in that way. And then YouTube was what made it for me. America's Got Talent, those shows, I know everybody has a different path, and things will work for different people. And so you don't have to think that going onto those huge stages is the only way to make it. It wasn't what made it for me. And so, whether you want to go do auditions or whether you want to just start playing with bands or doing YouTube, like, it's up for you to decide what the best platform is for you. And, but trying different things is how you're going to figure that out. But
I think YouTube is insane how, like, you can basically just broadcast yourself from your living room in front of nobody. Keep doing it until you have it right, and then put it up for the world to see. Mm-hmm. Like, this wasn't like 10 years ago, I wish, when I was trying to, like,
I seriously believe that YouTube is bigger now than MTV ever was.
Mm-hmm. Whoa.
I honestly believe that.
That's a big statement.
I mean, you can get 200 million views.
Yeah.
People are specifically going to you.
It's true.
It's true. It's changed everything for me, and and it's also nice that you get direct feedback, whether you want it or not. The world is telling you exactly what they think of what you're doing, and you take it with a grain of salt. You can, be like, oh, they're silly, I'm going to keep doing this. Or you can say, okay, that's true, I could work on that a little bit. I'm going to try to get better in that area. And so companies, everybody, they're always looking for feedback, but as a YouTuber, you get an audience and you get direct feedback all the time.
I like another question from Eric, I say.
Yeah.
They want to know what it's like, or do we ever get tired of playing the same songs every night?
Never.
Nope.
I never do.
We were just talking about this yesterday. How many shows have we played now?
Probably 60 at this point.
Played
maybe even more than that, actually.
Yeah, because
we've done like 40 in the past 2 months.
Anyway.
Yeah, we've done a lot of shows, and generally playing the same songs every night, and I still get excited to go on stage. We still come off stage every night, and we're like, yeah! Like, I don't know how it works, but it's still fun every night. It's because it's a new crowd. It's a new day. It's a new experience because there's new people, and you're sharing it. I bet if it was the same crowd every night, we'd all be a little
different. That's
different.
Huge. Is understanding that these people in the audience have never seen the show before. It's new to
right.
them.
It's a new experience for them.
Make it great for them so they never forget it. So.
Yeah.
And if there ever is a lull, like if there ever is something like that, like not getting tired of a song, we find things like Gavi and I specifically on stage. We make jokes back and forth and blah blah blah. Like, we're not tired of it, but you find a way to make things fun too. And like with songs, playing the same 17 songs every night, I find like different drum fills to do here and there, just kind of switch it up a little bit and just little things.
And it's kind of fun. It's fun for all of us because we've done the same songs together. So it's kind of fun when I hear Drew do something different. I'll kind of like look around and smile because I'm like, ooh,
oh, there it is.
That's cool. Like, there it is. Or Gavi will do it like differently.
You did a great one last night.
I did a great one during Spontaneous last night.
Wait, was it? Yeah, see, like
perfect.
It's kind of fun because we'll like pick up on little nuances and we're like, ooh, that's new, and we're like, yeah. So, anyways, well, I think, are there any other good questions?
There's
maybe we should.
Millions. I don't know, we'll be here all day.
I got one that said, "What's all of your favorite books?"
It's a horrible question for me.
What's your favorite book, Drew?
Right now, I'm reading Anthony Bourdain's Kitchen Confidential, and it's hilarious. It's not a PG book, though. It's very not PG. But that's a fun one, so I like that one. And the Hunger Games, I actually like that series. I didn't think I
I
would.
read it.
I didn't think I would, but I like it.
I'm not a reader.
I'm not. I wish I was more of a reader. I know. I'm like ashamed. I wish I was more of a reader. I did like Harry Potter a lot, and I liked Lord of the Rings. My daddy read read Lord of the Rings to me anyway.
I'll do this last one because this guy has asked us a few times. Do you have to learn to read notes and sheet to play piano or keyboards or read music? I don't read music, which is actually kind of crazy to me, but it's all by ear. So no, you don't have to be able to read music to be able to play. So
Couldn't hurt.
definitely wouldn't hurt. I wish I could read music.
Yeah.
I kind of cheat. On like sheet music, there's like the guitar tablature above. It says like G, D minor, and I can like find the melodies within it, but technically can't really play, which is kind of embarrassing to admit. But you don't really have to, I think.
I can read. I mean, I can read music. I've never been the best at reading music. Something that was always a little hard for me. But I do most of my stuff by ear, by choice, because that's how I learn better, and that's how I write better. So it's just, it's a choice for me, and I like learning by ear. But I can read, so it's useful, but you don't have to have it.
Mm-hmm. As far as drums, I'm a very novice reader, but I can get by at slower tempos. But yeah, it's the same thing with drums. Like, you can riff here and there too. So you don't need, you don't absolutely need it, but it doesn't hurt.
Well, guys,
I want to give him my Twitter. Can I give him my
Yeah.
Instagram and Twitter? Here's the deal, because we can answer her here later. Just answer
Yeah.
these as well.
You guys can tweet questions at us as
Yeah.
well.
If you don't follow us already,
Down with it.
what's your Twitter handle?
Do we have a pen? Maybe we
Okay.
can write it and put it up.
No.
I wish we'd.
I'll do it real fast. I'll get over here.
Yeah,
Well,
that's easier.
yeah. Well, there's also someone. While they're doing that, please say hi to Ryan, Nick, and Reese.
Reese.
Okay.
What's up, Ryan, Nick, and Reese?
Ryan, Nick, and Reese. Hey guys. That was
Anticlimactic, but yeah.
yeah. Hi.
Made their day.
It's funny. I wish I could hear back from you. Oh, say hi to Jessica and Nadia. Hi, Jessica and Nadia.
What's up?
What up? Harry
Hi,
Potter
Jessica.
covers. I should do a Harry Potter cover.
All right,
Still
so
wanted to
that's
do Doctor Who.
That's my Twitter and my Instagram. If you ever want to come say hi and want to know questions about Lindsey from behind the scenes.
Or about them. They are very
If you want to know the
interesting people.
dirt about this one, this special talent. If you want to know what she's doing at 2 in the morning on the bus.
Eating cereal.
Eating cereal. None. That's it.
Sweet. That's my Twitter. Want that? My
At the kid 86.
My Instagram is at the kid 1986. The kid 86 was taken.
And
I think they know.
yeah,
that is.
mine's Lindsey Stirling on Twitter, and Instagram is Lindsey Stomp. So yeah, you can tweet questions at us, and we'll do our best to answer them.
For the rest of the day, we'll keep on. Coming.
Yeah, for at least today, we'll keep on. But I love you guys, I really do. And it's been fun chatting with you. Thanks for coming in and joining us today on this lovely Sunday.
Bye.
Bye. Gonna try to disconnect, see if I can do it this time. All right.